Have you ever wondered if Sakura Haruno knows or able to use the powers of Itachi's Mangekyo Sharingan? How about if Ino Yamanaka able to use the powers of the Eight Tails Gyuki? And who will win if the two characters will face each other in a match? That kind of questions we all have as Naruto fans, even if Naruto ended a long time ago. So right now, I'm gonna have a tournament of hybrid Naruto characters who got randomly selected using a Naruto online generator or random online Naruto characters generator. So I made that video or the drafting of that characters on the last live video I did, so I suggest that you watch that fun video that I uploaded just yesterday. So you will know how I randomly selected these characters who will be participating in this hybrid tournament. So the mechanics of this tournament is that the first randomly selected character will retain all of its abilities and personality and its intelligence, all of the attributes of that character. And the second randomly selected character, all of that character's abilities will be added to the first randomly selected character. I made 16 pairs of characters put together to form one single hybrid characters. So that 16 pair of character will be joining this tournament. To start off, so the strongest forms of these characters will be up to the Shippuden, up to the introduction of the Hagoromo's powers or the Itsuzuki powers. So all that magical, mystical, alien powers will not be included in this tournament. Also, the first character selected will be able to use the second character's powers, just like how the second character is able to use the power. For example, Itachi having limits to using his Mangekyo Sharingan because of his illness, the first character will also have that kind of limits. And with that out of the way, let's start the first match of this tournament. To start this tournament, we have here the first two selections combined to become one hybrid character versus the second one is Hinata Hyuga added with Ami Yuri's powers. Ami Yuri is a member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist who controls two swords that can manipulate the lightning release around the surroundings and the user as well. We have here also Kakuzo, a member of the Akatsuki Notorious group, added with Kiba. Kiba is the strongest member of the Konoha 13, this time to become the strongest Hokage ever. Just kidding. Anyway, who I think will win this battle is that even though Ami Yuri is said by Might Guy after being revived as someone who cannot be stopped by 100 shunins, we have here Kakuzo, a member of Akatsuki group who is already near immortal and have 5 hearts that makes him being able to control the 5 elements, and that automatically cancels out the powers of the Kiba swords that Hinata Hyuga here can now wield. So I have here Kakuzo winning this battle on top of being faster and being more durable than Hinata here. Kiba right here is irrelevant at this point. Gatsuga cannot help him, but I will give Kakuzo added with Kiba's power the win here. Low to mid difficulty, so he will be moving on to the next round. On the next battle, we have the 4th Mizukage Yagura added with Ao's power. The 4th Mizukage is also the Jinchuriki of the Three Tails, and he is a perfect Jinchuriki. And add that with the powers of Ao, who wields the Byakugan in his right eyes, versus Zabuza, also one of the member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, who wields the sword or the Executioner's Blade, added with the power of Zetsu, a member of Akatsuki group as well, who can manipulate his body to multiply and also have the ability to control the wood release to some extent. So who I think will win this battle right here, I'm gonna give the edge to Yagura and Ao, because Yagura is a perfect Jinchuriki, being able to use Biju bombs on wheel. Also, he has that ability to control coral releases and use that to hinder opponents to use their bodies and chakras at their will. Add that with the power of Byakugan, who can see through chakra nodes and control it. Also have some taijutsu ability that he already has, and the sensory abilities that Ao has. Yagura right here is gonna be too OP for Zabuza, who struggles to defeat a Jonin level character in the name of Kakashi on part 1 of Naruto. So this is a close fight, but I'm gonna give the edge to Yagura and Ao here, because Yagura in himself is already too powerful, giving Itachi a hard time, and even being able to use a mirror type jutsu, being able to reflect any attacks that Zabuza is gonna throw at him. Also Zetsu in this battle is super relevant because he just have that lot of chakra reserves and ability to multiply himself, just like what Naruto is doing, a shadow clone of himself. But granted that he's smart as well, we have Black Zetsu in here, but I'm gonna give Yagura added with Ao's powers the edge here. He's just too powerful for Zabuza in this one. So they are moving on to the next round. We have the next characters battling against each other, and they are Sugetsu added with Shikamaru Nara's powers versus Kisame plus Orochimaru's powers. So this one right here, I guess, is one of the most one-sided battle that I can see. If you just observe right here without even me explaining the powers of these characters, you can already see who's more powerful than whom. And yeah, Sugetsu is strong. He's friends with Sasuke, a member of Taka. So the best feat that he have done in the Shippuden, I guess, is pushing off against 8 Tails Gyuki when they fought Killer Bee. But here, he will be added with Shikamaru's shadow release, so he can control the enemy if he catches them by their shadows. Also, he will be added with Shikamaru's brains right here, so he will not be a dumb character. But man, he is facing right here Kisame. Kisame is also a member of the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist, who wields the sword Samehada, who can absorb chakras, and he is a tailless tail beast. He just have that much enough chakra to even be compared to a tailed beast. And add his water release powers, also he can turn into a shark. He just have that water prison so big that you are not gonna be able to escape that. But man, come on. He will be facing Sugetsu right here, also a water type character, just like a Pokemon. He can turn into a liquid, so he will not die. But man, Kisame right here is added with Sugetsu's master's powers. So he has the power of Orochimaru, a legendary Sannin, who defeated the 3rd Hokage. So I guess, man, if you're just gonna look at this one without even me explaining their abilities, you can see how much powerful the second duo right here, or not duo, but the second hybrid character right here is just too powerful. Even if Sugetsu has the powers of Shikamaru and even his brains, he just doesn't have any chance of beating this Kisame right here with the powers of like a sage mode snake. So I'm giving the win here, low difficulty to Kisame added with Orochimaru's powers. So we will be moving on to the next fight, who I think is one of the most one-sided fight as well. But yeah, let's just move on. So the next characters are kind of interesting characters that I selected, because you know, we have here Tenten, who was some kind of a joke character, added with Itachi Uchiha's powers. So imagine her having the powers of Itachi, wielding the Mangekyo Sharingan, the Susanoo, etc. versus what I thought was the best selection so far, or yeah, the best selection so far is Minato Namikaze. With all his abilities and personalities and his genius, you can't have Tenten beating this character. But man, he just got added with Baki, a Sand Village Jonin's powers in him. So I guess this one is kind of interesting, because the selection of Itachi's powers being added to Tenten kind of matches the powers that Minato has. Because you know, you shouldn't be including Baki's powers right here, because it doesn't matter, man. What he has doesn't give a little bit of power boost to Minato right here. So let's start analyzing who's gonna be winning this battle or this matchup right here. Tenten wielding Itachi's powers versus Minato having some kind of a power boost from Baki or not. So let's see. I think I'm gonna give the win here to Tenten because Tenten is so powerful already. Just kidding, guys. I'm gonna give Minato the win here because, man, Minato alone can beat Itachi, even though it's debatable because a lot of Naruto fans still debates Itachi beating Minato in a fight, or that Itachi is much smarter than Minato. But I digress. I don't see Itachi beating Minato, but it is not Itachi who will be using his powers. It's gonna be Tenten, a good weapon user. He has that scrolls that he can summon weapons in it. And if you're gonna give her the abilities of Itachi, such as the Izanagi sword or the Susanoo, I think she's gonna be a pretty powerful character. But she's just facing here another much more powerful character, the Yellow Flash Minato, who has the Flying Raijin in his side, and he was once considered the strongest Hokage ever, even said to be more powerful than Hashirama, the first Hokage himself. And he has the run of sight order in all the villages because he's just that too powerful. So I'm gonna give the edge to Minato here. He's just too fast, too powerful. He has the sealing techniques. He has Kurama in his side because, you know, before he died, he once had Kurama a little bit. So I guess he can use that powers, even if he didn't show that before he died. But I'm gonna consider him having the Kurama powers in him because he had it before he died, and Kurama doesn't offer any resistance to Minato. That's how they explained Kurama's powers in relation to Minato's controlling him. So I'm gonna give Minato, not including Baki's powers, because he doesn't really need it in this battle. He just beats Tenten with Itachi's powers, no problem at all. I'm gonna give him the win, low to mid difficulty. So we're gonna move on to the next fight. Minato winning this round. On the other side of our tournament bracket here, on the right side, we have our first matchup, and that will be against Matsuri, again in level character Kunoichi from the Sand Village, added with Guy's 8 Gates power, versus Han, the Jinchuriki of the 5th Tailed Beast, added with Sugetsu's powers. So we will have here, again in level character, added with a Taijutsu mastery on the level that Guy can use, versus with an also very notable Taijutsu user of his time in the name of Han, added with Sugetsu's water type abilities. So this right here, we have a very interesting fight with Matsuri obviously being super weaker as again in level character against a Jinchuriki. Matsuri will surely getting beat by Han with just one strike if you're not considering the power boost of the 8 gates is gonna give her. Can Matsuri using up to the 8 gates defeat Han before she runs out of her life? And my answer to that is no, because as Might Dai, the father of Might Guy, fought the 7 swordsmen of the mist, he was just able to defeat 4 of them, and 3 of them managed to survive the fight. And Might Dai in himself is already, despite being again in level character, trained his body to be able to handle the 8 gates. So he is physically a very good Taijutsu user compared to Matsuri right here. And we have Han here, who is a master Taijutsu user, on top of being a perfect Jinchuriki, being able to use the Tailed Beast bombs and being able to master Boil Release and adding the powers of Sugetsu in him. That will obviously make him a more powerful than a Shinobi, who is again in level, just added with some power boost from the 8 gates. So my decision here is that I'm gonna move Han, added with Sugetsu's powers, on the next round, because Matsuri won't be able to kill him before she runs out of her life using the 8 gates. On the next fight, we will probably have the closest matchup that we're going to have in this tournament, and that is because we are up against Karin, added with Han's abilities. Han again is the Jinchuriki of the 5 tails, adding chakra and powers to an already large chakra character like Karin, versus Kakashi, the teacher of Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Sai, added with Kurotsuchi's abilities. Kurotsuchi is the granddaughter of Onuki, the Tsuchikage. I said this is the closest matchup because we have here Karin, who can use at the end of the war arc the adamantine chains, who can destroy the 1,000 arms Buddha, an ability of Hashirama used by Tobi, and having that kind of large amount of power and chakra. On top of being able to heal herself, she will be added with the powers of Han, the powers of the Jinchuriki, and the Biju of the 5 tails. So she will be able to use now the tail beast bombs, the boil release, on top of being able to use the adamantine chains. And she will be facing against Kakashi, who is a master of 1,000 ninjutsus, the copy ninja who has the Kamui in him, the very OP ability from Obito, his friend. Kakashi is a master strategist, and he will now have the chakra and all the abilities of Kotsuchi, being able to master 3 elements of earth, fire, and water release. So right here, this is super close, but I'm gonna give a slight edge to Kakashi because of him being a more strategic and a more experienced shinobi than Karin. Karin will just be added with the powers of Han, taijutsu techniques, but Kakashi will already have his abilities and his techniques with him, the 1,000 ninjutsus that he can do, and the most OP power that he have is the Kamui. Karin has no answer for the Kamui. Even if she will use the adamantine chains, she will be no match against Kakashi. Even though this will be a very close fight, I'm gonna give Kakashi plus Kotsushi's abilities the win here by winning by a very hard difficulty fight. So Kakashi will move on to the next round, and the next fight will be against Jinin with Guy's 8 Gates power. Jinin is also a member of the Swordsmen of the Mist who can control the sword that whenever the hammer and slaps the other axe and it explodes. And Guy's 8 Gates and taijutsu powers will be added on top of that to Jinin's already super strong swordsman abilities. And he will be facing against Mito, the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails, previously added with Yashamaru's abilities. So I'm gonna give the win here to Jinin, because you know Jinin is already a super strong character, a member of the 7 swordsmen of the mist, and you add on top of that the 8 gates, that will be an overkill against a character who we don't have any feat aside from being just the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails. So I'm gonna give Jinin the win here. He will be moving on to the next round. On the next battle, we're gonna have a matchup against Lee with Killer Beast powers and Yugao with Conan's powers. So Lee is already a user of the 8 gates just like Guy, but he can open up to the 7th gate. And he will be added with the powers of Yuki, the 8 tails, and Killer Beast abilities. So he will be fighting against Yugao here, a character on the 4th Great Ninja War, but she will have the powers of Conan here, and also she will have that billions paper bombs. But I'm gonna give the edge here to Lee because he have the power of Killer Bee here. That combination is gonna be too overpowered against Yugao, a character who doesn't have that much of a feat, just added with Conan's power. So we're done with the first round of this tournament here. Lee winning the last matchup of the round 1 of this tournament, the Naruto Hybrid Characters Tournament round 1, with the winners of the round 1 being Kakuzo, the 4th Mizukage, Kisame, Minato, Han, Kakashi, Jinin, and Lee. So they will be fighting against each other in the round 2, and the round 2 will start right now. We start off the round 2 of this tournament of power with Kakuzo with Kiba's powers in him versus Yagura plus Ao's powers. So I'm gonna give this one to Yagura with Ao's powers because Yagura is a perfect Jinchuriki, and adding Ao's Byakugan will surely be able to see the weak points of Kakuzo, especially those 5 hearts that he has. So the immortality of Kakuzo in this battle is at the risk of losing because Yagura can see the weak points now and can attack those weak points, and on top of being a perfect Jinchuriki, he can just spam these tail beast bombs, and so far Kakuzo doesn't have any defense against tail beast bombs. So this is a one-sided battle with Yagura winning mid to high difficulty. So he is moving on the round 3. And the next battle will be against Kisame with Orochimaru's powers battling against Minato with Baki's powers. So again, Kisame right here is too overpowered with amount of chakra equaling to that of a tailed beast, and you add Orochimaru's powers, but is that enough to defeat the Yellow Flash's powers added with the irrelevant powers of Baki? The answer is unfortunately no for Kisame. Minato is just too overpowered. This is just a bad matchup for Kisame. Even if he has the powers of Orochimaru with him, Minato is just too fast. The teleportation, the flying Raijin Jutsu is just a bad matchup for Kisame. Even if he will imprison Minato using that giant water prison that he has, Minato will just teleport everywhere on the battlefield, and the Samehada will not be able to absorb any of Minato's chakra because Minato is just too fast. He will just be blitzing around the battlefield, ending Kisame's life in an instant. So I'll have Minato winning this round 2 against Kisame. So we'll be moving on to the next round. And the next battle we have is Han with Sugetsu's powers versus Kakashi with Kurotsushi's powers. And in this one, I'll have Kakashi still winning against Han. Kakashi's strategy, and he's just an overall better fighter. Though Han is a master taijutsu fighter, Kakashi is no slouch too when it comes to taijutsu, and he has the Kirin with him, so the boil release doesn't matter. And the strongest Kakashi ability that he has in his arsenal is the Kamui. Han doesn't have any answer for that, even if he has the abilities of Soigitsu. So Kakashi will be moving on in the next round. And the next matchup we have here in the round 2 is Jinin with Guy's 8 Gates abilities versus Lee with Killer Beast abilities. And in this one, this is an extremely close matchup, but I'm gonna give Jinin the advantage here against Lee because Lee can just open up to 7 gates, and that's not enough to defeat Jinin, a super strong swordsman already. Added with the 8 gates, Lee will be dead before Jinin will run out of his life using the 8 gates. And the octopus or the 8 tails here will not be able to help Lee. They will just die with Jinin opening up to 8 gates. So Jinin with Guy's powers will be moving on to the next round. So here are the winners of the round 2: Yagura, Minato, Kakashi, and Jinin. So they will be moving on to the next round. We are getting close to the final battle, but right now we're up against Yagura with Ao's Byakugan's powers versus Minato with Baki's powers. And in this one, we have a perfect Jinchuriki, but wouldn't matter against someone who can seal away a much stronger Biju than the Three Tails. The only jutsu that Minato will have to watch out against Yagura is that mirror reflecting jutsu, which Yagura can use to reflect the Rasengan. But Minato right here is a master of sealing jutsus from the Uzumaki clan, so sealing away Yagura and the Three Tails is an easy task for him. The Byakugan wouldn't help here as well because Minato is just too fast. So Minato will be winning this battle low to mid difficulty. And we'll be moving on to our other competitors: Kakashi with Kurotsushi's powers versus Jinin with Guy's powers. And here I think is an evenly close match with Kakashi mastering the Kamui. But the question is Kakashi fast enough to avoid those attacks with Jinin using the 8 gates? I think the answer to that is no. Kakashi's strongest form, not including the 6 paths boost that he had, is just him mastering the Kamui and being able to hang on with Naruto's KCM2. So Kakashi is not fast enough, and Jinin will win this round. He will be moving on to the final round against Minato Namikaze. And the final matchup we have right here on our Naruto Hybrid Characters Tournament is Minato with Baki's powers versus Jinin with the powers of the 8 gates. And what I think will happen in this battle is that this is an extremely close fight again, with Minato being so much faster than Jinin in his base form, and all of Jinin's swordsman abilities will not matter because Minato can just avoid all of his attacks. But the power boost that he has with Guy's 8 gates here will determine the outcome of this battle. We see Minato being able to intercept Guy when he was about to attack Chubidara. Both characters are insanely out of this world with their speed, but Minato can hang on with them, being able to intercept the truth-seeking orbs and also rotate mid-air while Guy is attacking at full speed. So we can see right there that Minato's reaction speed surpasses even that of Guy's 8-gate mode and Jubidara. So right here, I think Jinin will use the 8 gates, and all the taijutsu boosts that he will be having still wouldn't matter against Minato. He can avoid all of Jinin's attack before Jinin can run out of his life. So right here, the edge Minato has is his speed and teleportation jutsu. He can just teleport everywhere on this world and come back on the battlefield with Jinin already out. So in this hybrid tournament, we have Minato, who is ironically doesn't even need the powers of the second character that he had, with all just his innate abilities and powers, the ceiling powers, the Nine Tails cloak that he can use, and especially his speed and this use of flying Raijin will win the hybrid characters tournament. So we have right here our winner, Minato Namikaze, and now we are finished with the Naruto hybrid characters tournament. This one is really fun. The combination of these people right here, I had fun selecting them randomly and combining their powers, and hopefully that you guys agree with me on the outcome here with Minato winning it all. But on the other rounds, we have close fights with right there Kisame having the powers of Orochimaru, one of the strongest one right there, and the power boost that the 8 gates can provide to someone, to some regular people, even Matsuri right there. But with the Swordsman of the Mist having that kind of power boost, he can hang on with Minato, the 4th Hokage. But ultimately, Minato won this hybrid tournament. And thank you for watching the video. Hope you subscribe to my channel so you can see more videos like this one. Have a good day.